Oyasumi Punpun is a perfect demonstration of why you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. At first glance, the picture on Mall made me think the story was about a young girl and a strange penguin/bird creature, which is why I added it to my list, only because it was ranked number 15 on the site. It was not until I read another manga by the author, Asano Inio, called Nijigahara Holograph and delved deeper into what this manga was actually about that I finally decided to give it a chance. I couldn't have been more wrong about my initial impression. To put aside this lengthy introduction, I'll dive into the actual review. Many manga and storytelling mediums often strive to create endearing characters, a plot that has ups and downs but still manages to end on a positive note, or fantastical characters and settings. Oyasumi Punpun is the complete opposite of all that. Oyasumi Punpun is a powerful tale of growth and the human experience, told through the lens of the character Punyama, later Onodera, Punpun. Despite having elements of comedy, including a significant portion of black humor, this manga is among the most raw and realistic depictions of life that I have encountered. The story begins in Punpun's elementary school years and continues to follow him into his early 20s, exploring the deep psychological struggles that he and those around him face. One of the most notable aspects of the story is the unique character design of Punpun, who starts out as a two-dimensional bird-like figure with long legs. As the story progresses, his design evolves to reflect his changing emotions and experiences, but it is important to note that to everyone else in the manga, he appears as a normal human being, not a bird-like figure. The psychological elements of the story, including the character design, add depth and nuance to this coming-of-age tale. Oyasumi Punpun starts with Punpun in elementary school. He falls in love with Tanaka Aiko after she transfers to his school following the departure of his crush. He begins to form a connection with Aiko while navigating through puberty and spending time with his friends. His group of friends includes Shuntaro Harumi, a kind boy with glasses, Seiki Masumi, a troubled delinquent, and Shimizu Ko, a strange boy who can see the god of poop and has been friends with Seiki since childhood. The group of 6 friends are just typical boys who enjoy finding pornographic magazines, doing daring activities, and simply having fun. I don't want to reveal any more details about the story, as it would spoil the many intricate aspects that Asano Inio delves into in this intense and moving story. Punpun's elementary school life is only a small piece of the bigger picture. The artwork in Oyasumi Punpun is exceptional. The concept of showing Punpun's inner emotions through his appearance, which is different from how others see him, adds depth to the character and his experiences. The other character designs are well crafted, particularly Punpun's family members who also have bird-like features. People who appear as normal humans are depicted realistically, with the exception of occasional changes in their appearance to reflect their emotions. Shimizu, for example, is often portrayed with a runny nose, but at times can seem intelligent. The artwork also includes mature content, such as nudity, but it serves to heighten the darkness of situations and emphasize the imperfections of the characters, rather than as fan service. The backgrounds in the manga are just as impressive as the character designs. Each location depicted in the story is consistently rendered with stunning detail. The art remains impressive from start to finish, which is not something that can be said for all long-running manga series. Asano Inio often uses the same background for multiple panels, but changes the foreground elements, increasing the psychological impact of the scene. This technique draws the reader into Punpun's world and makes them focus on what is happening. The realism and melancholy of the art fit the tone of the story perfectly, and there is little to criticize. The characters in this manga are perhaps its most intriguing aspect. As previously mentioned, not all of them are meant to be endearing. In fact, none of them are my favorite, despite this being one of my favorite manga. This is by design, as they are meant to be realistically portrayed. If real-life people were depicted in anime or manga, I wouldn't consider myself or anyone I know as a favorite character. Real-life individuals are much less complicated than anime characters who sport bold hairstyles, wield unique weapons, and possess perfect bodies. Real humans are not perfect, do not always have happy endings, and are often just minor, forgettable figures that one encounters briefly in life. The protagonist, Punpun, is a typical Japanese person with slightly heightened psychological issues at times, but still nothing that real humans cannot relate to. As a child, Punpun's uncle taught him that if he said a specific phrase, God would appear to him and offer help in times of need. However, Inio portrays God as a detrimental imaginary friend with an afro, who gives Punpun poor advice that often leads to negative outcomes. Punpun's journey to adulthood is a challenging one, marked by family problems, romantic struggles, sex, alcohol, depression, and various jobs. Oyasumi Punpun is not a cheerful story, and Punpun rarely goes a chapter without feeling sad, questioning himself, or making poor decisions. He is plagued by flaws, and as he matures, he becomes aware of more and more of them. Punpun is always looking back at the past and has trouble facing the future, given his bleak life. He has many regrets and wishes he could do things differently. As the story progresses, he becomes more distant from the cheerful child who dreamed of becoming a scientist in space. Characters often remark on how his kindness leads him to harm others, and how he easily apologizes for his actions. The character of Punpun is both a strength and a weakness of the manga. While I generally enjoy Punpun's story, there are moments where his decisions seem too foolish even for him. As the story progresses, Punpun becomes increasingly mean and grating, which is understandable given the immense stress he is under. This doesn't detract from the overall experience, but I felt it was worth mentioning. The artist, Inio, also acknowledges Punpun's transformation through his depiction of him, which changes greatly from earlier in the manga. One source of drama for Punpun revolves around his middle school crush, Aiko. He spends much of the manga reminiscing about her, and some of my least favorite moments in the story involve her. Seiki and Shimizu follow a separate story arc for the majority of the manga. Despite having little interaction with Punpun after middle school, they remain important characters in the overall story. They've been friends since preschool, and Seiki has always been the caretaker for Shimizu, who has strange visions, including the god of poop. As they grow up, they struggle to maintain their friendship despite mounting challenges. I appreciate their story and find them to be two of the best characters in the manga. Their bond is authentic and heartwarming. Throughout the manga, Punpun encounters different people and experiences various relationships, conflicts, and personal struggles. The main focus shifts between characters to give a full understanding of the story. For a comprehensive look at all the significant characters, refer to the character list. Oyasumi Punpun is now one of my favorite manga and the second to receive a 10/10 rating from me. It's a masterpiece that offers a realistic portrayal of life and its difficulties, and is not for the faint of heart. If you can handle mature themes, nudity, and a deeply depressing story, I highly recommend this manga. However, be prepared for a profound and impactful experience that will stay with you long after reading. Thanks for watching this video. If you're a fan of anime, you'll definitely want to check out our channel for more great content. From reviews to discussions, we've got everything you need to feed your anime addiction. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our latest updates. And don't forget to leave a comment below, we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep it anime.